What's up, guys? Can you guys see me? That stream took ages, but here we go. I think we're connected now. Are you guys all around? Can you hear me okay? I had a little bit of a glitch in that stream as I was about to go live, but I think I can see you guys now. Let me know in the chat if you can see me and hear me okay. And I will say that the second I went live, the construction noise started in the apartment above me, and I want to scream, but there is a law here in Dubai that they have to stop at lunchtime. So they should be stopping soon. Okay, good. You guys can hear me okay. So if you do happen to hear some construction in the background, hopefully it won't go on for too much longer because, yeah, they do have to stop very, very soon. But now that we've got all of those formalities out of the way, let's talk about Doge because Doge has had a nice little pump today, and I want to talk about some targets for Doge. It's come after hitting our initial area of interest, which is great. I knew that was going to happen. Veg Trader says, better be a $1 target for Mark. Yep, when Doge pumps, we have a very specific community member who gets super excited. So this is amazing for Mark at this point in time. However, there is something we have to be very careful of right now, and this is the 4-hour time frame. So if we're looking at Doge here, just give me 1 second. If we're looking at Doge here, we can see that there was, let me move this so that you guys can see it. There was this W formation. Hold on a second. There was this W formation right here, and we've had our rises since then with some pretty decent wicks to the downside, mind you. But what we're at risk of right now is a 4-hour head and shoulders at the top of those rises. So really what we need for Doge right now is we've got to get beyond where price is literally right now. We need to create a higher high. Otherwise, the head and shoulder pattern is looking a bit like this right here. So let's see how we go. If we come back and maintain the structure, so we continue to create higher lows, then we want to have a look. There's a couple of liquidation levels here. I'm going to show you on high block. If we have a look here, we've got this light green zone around here, and then we've got this higher level up here. So when you have a look at those two levels on the chart, it's these red areas that I've marked here that are between 0.082, 0.083, and then the higher one up here is at 0.087 to 0.088. So they will be nice targets if we continue to the upside. The other thing too is having a look at the daily. If we zoom out on this, we can see this is the most, like if this is going to be a long-term uptrend, like a decent uptrend that like lasts on a higher time frame, then I'm favoring this vector candle up here, which we still have a while to go to get there. And that's because once price pulled away from this one, we then had this retest here before we fell away. So, you know, and then the same thing happened here when we had this initial push up. It's fallen away from these vector candles here. This would be more of like a, you know, a key level target if we can get past this current high up here. So when we look at Doge on a higher time frame, it's looking fine. Like I said, it came into our buy zone initially, which was around the 50 fib as well. So if price comes to the 50 fib, then the target is the -2.7. And so the -2.7 is up here, which you can see puts us in that vector candle zone. So I am favoring this, but it's very, very dependent on that smaller time frame pattern. Wait, where'd it go? Where'd it go? 4-hour time frame, not actually validating this potential head and shoulders. So keep an eye on Doge for sure. It's looking decent. We'll have a look at the liquidity on Doge specifically. We can see there is still some room for more upside on this one. There was definitely a spike in long position leverage here. Hold on, I just lost the chat. 1 second. Yeah, we've got a spike in this long position leverage. What have we got here? Short liquidations 171, longs 278. So obviously people are favoring longs, and Doge actually made the move first before Bitcoin and Ethereum did. And it is, we are potentially on the cusp of the end of false move week beginning. So I will have a look at Bitcoin and ETH in a second. But yeah, we can see here that there is leverage building up below price for people who are going long, but there is room still to move to the upside for a little bit more if they want to invalidate this head and shoulders. So just keep an eye out on that one. But it's looking good so far. It's a nice move to the upside. Doge is one that is in our investment portfolio, not because we necessarily fundamentally love it, but you know, it's kind of worth having a little bit of it in your degen bag for a bull market, because it does, you know, when it wants to have pumps, it does have crazy pumps. So the initial investment was, you know, down in this accumulation phase. This area of interest was, sorry, there was actually one before. It was this vector candle here was another area of interest for a second chance buy. And then this was another second chance buy area. So, you know, 3 times to load up on Doge before this move had happened, and now we're just waiting for this follow through. But yeah, as long as it maintains higher highs and higher lows, we're good for this these upper targets. But if it starts to, because this is a 4-hour potential for a head and shoulders, I would drop down to the 1 hour and start just seeing if you can see any reason that this might run out of steam. So currently on the 1 hour, the high of the day, initial high of the day, has come back to this red vector candle right here. So that's natural that we're going to have a pause in momentum right now, because it's coming back into a previous vector candle zone. So that's no problem. If it comes back, see, we've got these liquidation levels below price on the 1 hour. So if it came back for any of these 3, it would just be a retracement, because every single one of them would just create a higher low. And then that's where you'd be looking at each one of these 3 levels. That's where you'd be looking for that higher low, hammer, railroad track, some kind of bullish candlestick confirmation to expect that it's then going to go for another move to the upside and then start coming for these liquidation levels. I also like that we've broken the previous high of the day. That's all good, but now it needs to retest it and successfully hold in that area for the continuation. What can happen, because it is Asia session, where is my Asia session things? Hang on a second. My market sessions isn't on here. Yeah, so where are we here? This is the extension end of Asia. And so what we have to make sure is that it doesn't start to form the first side of an M and the second side form in UK. So we would look at that on the 15-minute time frame. And don't forget, like, you can have 3 rises on a 15-minute time frame that equal only a pullback on a higher time frame. So really depends on what you're trading here, but I personally don't really see 3 rises here at this point in time. So I would be looking for more of a retracement for another level up on this one. It's looking really quite good. Now let's have a look at no more Doge entries for now. No, I wouldn't unless there was this pullback. So if it came back and retested the high of the day, which is about 0.079, or it may only come back to this one, which is they're both 0.79, 0.85. If it came back to test either of these 2, you might get another entry for that final push into these liquidation levels. But without that pullback, I wouldn't. But it does look like there should be one more push in it, because you've got, this is here, let me mark it out, V-shaped recovery here on the 1 hour time frame. This is rise 1, this is retracement, this is rise 2. So there should either be a board meeting, consolidation sideways, or a retracement, come and take out some of these. And then if the whole market remains bullish, there should be one more rise. So you may not be too late on an entry. Especially, I do like that we have all of these 15-minute time frame vector candles that line up with those liquidation levels, because that whole area then becomes a high volume area. There's a lot to say that if price holds here, we should continue up. So I would definitely keep an eye out on that if you are wanting a Doge entry. Yeah, I know, Sal. Thank you for saying it. I don't know why that happens either. The screen is so much clearer. I know. I use a different program and I don't have this problem on the other channel. So I will try and sort it out. But I know I hate how my screen is so blurry on the other channel. But anyway, Now let's have a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, false move week beginning. Now covered this on Banter yesterday. We talked about the trap traders being up here. At the time, there was no movement out of the zone. I think this had just started, and we were talking about if we were going to move to the upside after this wick here, we would want to see a W formation form. If not, it would retest an EMA and we were going down further. So this is great because now we can see what happened. So you know what I said before, and now you can see what happened as a result of that. So this week was when we were talking about it. You can see here we didn't get a W. We came down into this level, and then this was a 20 EMA retest. So that was bearish. So no W formation happened. We just had an EMA retest, which is bearish. Then we came into this zone here. Now this is where there was a potential for a W formation to kind of be happening here. There was a couple of things, and I did this morning in my Discord. Let me find it. I did this update. So I said, I talked about Bitcoin, and then I also talked about ETH, where both of them had what was potentially looking like a W, but I had issues with both of them. My issues with both of these Ws right now was there was no clear trapped people on the first peak. The peak formation high, and let me just explain what I mean there. So if this was the W, the post was done here at this time, right? Before this 50 EMA touch. So when I say there's no clear trapped people, this peak here to this peak here is almost the same level. When you have a trapped person, you have like this, price doesn't return to the level. So that was my first issue with this being a potential W. Then I said the peak formation high from last week looks like currently only 2 drops. So let's have a look at that. If we zoom out, the peak formation was here. So that's 1 drop into the weekend trap. This was 2 drops. And yeah, wasn't looking like we had the 3rd drop yet, which we don't have to get on a false move week beginning, but ideally, you know, that's what I want. Then we had no volume break of the 50 EMA yet, and the 50 EMA, no volume break of the 50 EMA yet, and the 50 EMA was still acting as resistance. So look at that. As price was moving up through here, we did not get a volume break, and it was still acting as resistance. So if we look here, see how the candles rejected? The blue EMA is my 50 EMA. So these were my issues with these being a W. Now, sometimes you're going to take a chance on it anyway, because you might see one peak in one session, one peak in another. An aggressive trader would take a chance on it. And in this case, it wouldn't have worked out because we got this stop hunt. That's what happens. You know, if you have good risk management, it doesn't matter. The next trade that you get that does snipe that really good entry with that really amazing risk to reward is well and truly going to make up for any potential loss if you did long this as a W. It's really not a big deal. And then finally, Asia was not finished at the time. So yeah, I'm not saying false move week beginning is over just yet. Just look for the signs of reversal in case this is it. But unless we meet the conditions above, there could still be another level to come. So what ended up happening was we ended up having this spike down at the end of Asia. And again, this is another perfect lesson. I always say to you guys, don't trust the end of session price action because it's the market maker taking profit. And when I say don't trust, I mean don't enter trades. So you never really want to enter trades at the end of a session. You want to enter trades in the gap between sessions or the start of a session. That is the most ideal time. So what's happening now? Which indicator are you using to get the 5 EMAs? This is our own custom EMA thing, but you can use this one here for EMA, this one here, and probably just don't add the 10. You don't really need the 10. So just add 20, 50, 200, 800. That would be enough. Yeah, so now moving on. This was the stop hunt. Is it bearish divergence on the one out? Maybe I'll have a look at RSI. I don't have it on this chart. Oh, here we go. Reese Sutton says, I use Crown for 5 EMA. Okay, so there might be a 5 EMA. There you go. Thank you for that. Alan's in the house. How you doing, my friend? I took that long, got stopped out. Never mind, my short is still good. Yeah, see, perfect. That's the other thing too. If you were short from either before the weekend or, you know, when we broke out of this weekend trap box or the retest or any time short in here, then yeah, your short would have saved you if you kept it open and went along the other way. So that is definitely something that we teach a lot of in TTC, is like how to maximize on a trade that is going in the right direction, but then also take that higher risk at the right time for the bag flip, but then not actually exit until you have the final confirmation. So on that note, I will just do a shameless plug. And I have to say this, before I do this shameless plug, I need to tell you guys this because I've been reading the comments on my videos. And here's the thing. If there is one thing that I can promise you, it is that if you ever make money and you want to tell me about it, I will be your biggest cheerleader. Whether you make that money from trading, from having a business, from getting a promotion, I don't care. If you make money and you're proud of yourself and you want to tell me about it, I will be your biggest cheerleader. So what I'm telling you is that once a year, if we decide to offer a sale because of Black Friday and I decide to tell people about it, I expect you to champion me. Okay? It doesn't make me a shiller. I'm trying to give people an opportunity to get started on this at as cheap a price as possible, because that offer that we have going on right now, you could learn this whole system in that offer for 25 bucks. Like, yeah, I'm shilling it. And you should not only champion me for doing it, you should champion everyone who signs up to it, because for 25 bucks, they can change their life. So do I have permission to tell people about it? This is the last time, because it finishes tomorrow morning. This is the last time. Let me know in the comments. Am I okay to now tell people that we are doing a once a year sale that we never do any other time? Echo says signed up yesterday. Reese says, I'm about to take up Black Friday. Faith says, shill away. Mark says, lucky people. So here it is, guys. It's this one right here. It's $25 for the first month. Then it goes up to $78. But we don't have lock-in contracts here. So if you choose the monthly one and after, or, you know, before your next month is due, you decide to cancel, you can cancel. Okay, we don't do that. We don't lock you in and force you to keep paying. If you're not happy and we're not aligned, we don't want to take your money for that, okay? There is an option to pay yearly. If you want to pay yearly, you get a discount from $9.36 down to $6.99. Or if you want to do just the first month, you can do that. In that, you get Zero to Crypto. Now, you're only going to need the Zero to Crypto course if you are very, very brand new to crypto. So you don't know how to buy it. You don't know like how to move it around on exchanges, and you don't know like the basics of trading. You need that. But if you already know all that, you can just skip that course. You don't have to do it. The Trade by Design course is the one that I'm telling you about. There are 55 lessons in this course. It's not one lesson. It's 50. I think actually there's 56. It is a full, complete trading method. You will know how to trade the weekly setup, which is the false move week beginning, the 3-day swing, the midweek reversal, the 3-day back the other way, the Friday trap, the whole thing. Like, you will know from doing that course. You get a basic version of this indicator. So this indicator that you see me use on my shows, you get that as well. And then our customized TTC trading journal. So it's got all of our setups in there already, so you don't have to write everything out from scratch. There's Discord access, my chart updates, and my team's chart updates as well. And then, yeah, just some chat and mindset channels and things like that. So it really is a good foot in the door. Like, if you've ever thought, I'd love to see what it's all about, but, you know, I'm not sure I want to make that bigger commitment of one of these two. Like, this is the best way to just get a foot in the door and just see what it's like. But today's the last day. So if you're interested, definitely do that. But again, if it's not for you and you want to just keep learning by YouTube, keep learning by YouTube. Like, it's no sweat to me. Now, let's have a look at this. Now we can move on. Guys, by the way, smash the like button if you have learned something today as well. Obviously, I'm trying to grow this channel, get back on here and give you guys some amazing content that we used to do not too long ago. Now, I got Discord access through the Bybit trading challenge. Awesome. Everyone should try it, says Kaz. Thank you. There's a big difference between shilling a shitcoin to offering a great product at an awesome price. I missed the rest of that comment. And his course could become your new career. So $25 is nothing. Very true, Cryptic Sniper. Okay, anyway, let's move on. So is this going to be the first side of our W that leads into our 3-day swing? It is possible, because this is a decent looking hammer. There's not enough structure yet. Look, it did have a volume spike. That's good. And it did cause liquidations. So at this point in time, it does tick the box. It broke down below the initial low of the day, but closed back above it. Good. The middle peak could be to the 50 EMA. Great. What we need to see next is the follow through of this. So there is time. In the UK session, what we want to see on this one is the second side, ideally, of a W formation. So something like this. If that were to happen, that would be where you would go long on this, and we would assume for false week move beginning to be over. And we don't, if this starts to retrace now, we don't want it to get too much into this wick, because currently what we have is the trapped traders are in this wick, okay? So that's all you have to ask yourself before you go to take a position is, can I identify where trapped traders are? So if the price does start to retrace, you know, into this kind of area, and we're still very clear of this wick, then yeah, you can see that there are people still trapped. Even if it came, you know, into it here, that would be fine. But if it started to do this, then we have this situation going on, right? Or this situation where it ended up, you know, taking another level down. So we just don't want to see price come back and return too much into this trap trader zone now. And if that happens, the aggressive traders would enter on the second peak. And again, that's up to you whether you want to be an aggressive trader or not. It does give you the lowest entry price possible, but it's not necessarily always the best risk to reward. So yeah, that's something you need to think about and work out over time. If you don't want to do that and you want a more conservative entry because, you know, you want to be sure the trend is changing, then after all of this happens, you would wait for price to retrace again, and it would usually retrace somewhere around these EMAs, create another higher low, and that would be your chance to enter. And if all of that were to happen on this, then what you would, you know, essentially have in this whole area here would again just be an inverted head and shoulders, which is just a bullish pattern. So there's going to be two entry opportunities on this if this here is actually going to be our first side W. Until we get this or this, it's not proven to be, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. I like at this point in time that price hasn't immediately returned there. That's what we want. We want to see price just kind of trickle down to create the second side. Whereas look here, when we had this first peak last night, see how price within a few candles, like it immediately returned back to the wick. We don't want that, okay? So far so good, because we don't have it. So definitely the possibility of a really good entry on a long coming up very soon, providing it holds this higher low or this one for your entry. Because what would happen is then the 50 EMA would do something like this, right? So that's going to be the ideal thing to look for. Now, what happens if anything else happens? Number one, if you're already short, there's no reason to exit unless this happens. So you would still be short currently, or if price breaks above the 50 EMA and then retests it, that would be another area that you would exit short. If price returns in here and then just continues back down, you wouldn't go long, you would just stay short. So yeah, so shorts shouldn't necessarily be out yet, but they should be looking to exit, and we should be looking to see if it's the right time to go long. So I hope that was hope that clear. When it reverses, how far would you see price go as a first target? So if it does do either of these, then what should happen is we get the second side, we break the 50 with a volume, we make a run for the 200 EMA, we'll slow down there and then either consolidate or create this higher low. After that, our targets become our key levels. So the initial high of the day back here at 37,745, then we'd probably go up here to the high of the day. Once we've done all of that, we're going for our liquidation. Now, if it's going to be a 3-day swing, we should go higher than that. That would just be our initial target where we have to reassess what's happening. So if it's going to be a 3-day swing, we're then looking at these liquidation levels, which is at 38K again. Actually, 38.2, I'm pretty sure that one got taken out. Yeah, this one's not here. That one got taken. That's an old one. So 38K again, and then 38,400, which will be back at the high of the week. So back at this peak right here. And then from there, like if we got up to either of those two, we would reassess. But this could be the beginning of a Linda trade. So if you don't know what a Linda trade is, it's a trade where you get the best entry on a 15-minute time frame. Like let's just say you got this trade here. And then after the full 3 levels played out on the 15-minute time frame, you go up a level to see what's happening there, and you see that there are more levels on a higher time frame to go, and so you end up holding for your 1 hour time frame 3 levels, which takes you up to here. Now all of a sudden you have an 8-to-1 risk to reward, when initially you took the trade off a 15-minute and you were only aiming for a 4-to-1. So you've instantly doubled the trade. Then if we start to go even higher to the 4-hour time frame levels, that's when we start looking for even higher targets that could end up being the heat map orders that we have at the 40K region, 42K region, and then 45K region. Now look what you've got. You've got a 30-to-1 risk to reward. And if you don't think this is possible, we do this all the time in Discord. Like this happens all the time. So it's definitely possible to snipe an amazing entry on a 15-minute time frame. And if you understand how the levels feed up and how to read that, then you can end up like that's a 30% account increase on one trade if you only risked 1%. So yeah, there's massive opportunities in that. And this could be the setup for it, providing we do get that second side, and then obviously we have to break these key levels all the way. Now let's have a look at ETH. I'm not saying that's happening, by the way, guys, but that's definitely, this is the time we would look out for something like that to happen. ETH is the same deal, really. Actually, yesterday ETH was, it was here. ETH was here doing nothing. It hadn't broken yet on the live stream. And I told you guys to look out for the 800 EMA. We did get a bounce off it, but then obviously it came down for another level. So ETH is a little bit the same. Peak formation formed on Friday. Weekend trap, drop, retrace, drop. Now, is this the place? It did take out its liquidation level at 2036. So we're in the same position. Like we haven't broken the 50 EMA yet. So we should still be bearish until it's proven to us that we should flip our bias. So we're currently bearish unless these traders here stay trapped in this candle right here, and price returns to it and gives us a higher low. Then if it does that, it's going to give us a W. And it might even retest the initial low of the day, which would just add confluence to that idea. But if it doesn't, if it eats into too much of this trap trader zone, then we stay short and we reassess, maybe in US session or potentially one of the sessions tomorrow. I think that's really all. Is there anything else I wanted to show you? So high block I've shown you. Let's have a look at there was something on, Dixie keeps coming down. That's good for us in general. Actually, this was what I wanted to show you, the totals. I went over this a while ago on one of my shows. I don't have a lot to say about this. So this is the others dominance. So it's minus the top 10 cryptos. And I just want to show you that it's still in the same place, essentially. So I think it was a couple of weeks ago, maybe, we drew this inverted head and shoulders. This is the area of interest. And what the moral of the story of that stream was, if we break through, that's when we might get altcoin, really rally. However, Ideally, we wanted to get a pullback first to get a good altcoin entry. We're not getting a pullback. We're just getting consolidation. We're getting consolidation in the zone, so it's still definitely worth keeping an eye on, because yeah, it is possible if you're looking to buy, you know, long-term altcoins, the longer it stays in this zone without a pullback, the more you would assume it is going to break through to the upside. So you want to keep an eye on that, because if you're looking to buy altcoins and you're waiting for pullbacks, you might get it, but you might have to choose to buy off consolidation rather than a pullback if this doesn't actually do anything. Why am I out watching this when I know I have to wake up at 6:45? USDT, take a look. Sure, yeah, I have. USDT, we broke out of the triangle a long time ago, USDT dominance. And yeah, I mean, we're just hanging around the 800 EMA. Again, this is a good sign. You know, Dixie down, USDT down. It's a good sign. People are happy at the moment to invest in crypto. Bitcoin as well. I have a feeling that Bitcoin, after it's finished its move to the downside, will go first, and then alts will go first. And the reason that I say that, I mean, besides the fact that it's normal that happens, is this looks a little bit bull flaggy to me. So, you know, Bitcoin dominance is worth keeping an eye on too. Maybe not like that, maybe something like that. But that's worth keeping an eye on too, because if that breaks out soon, yeah, Bitcoin will go on another rally, and that's where we may see our 40+ K Bitcoin. All right, what else? How do we snipe when we have a 9-to-5 job, place limit orders instead? Yes, let me show you how to do that. So you would have to, first of all, be very confident that you are in the right part of the cycle. You've counted your levels and you have seen a first side W, and you know that in your mind, and obviously you can never be 100% certain, but you feel that you have ticked all the boxes on your trade and the second side of a W should form. So if you can see that, then you can, once the first side is formed and the middle peak is formed, which we don't know if it's formed yet, but let's just pretend this is the middle peak and it has formed, then you can simply come and draw your fibs on that last level like this. And then what you do is you split up your entry orders. So let's just say you wanted to put $90 on a trade. You would put 30 at the 61, 30 at 50, and 30 at 38. Or you could even do more at the 38, so it brings down your average entry and your stop loss under the wick, and then you just go live your life. And it may come down and only pick up one of those orders. It may come down and pick up all of those orders. Whatever happens, at least you're in the game for something. And then when you come back for work and price has moved away, you're just waiting for the retest. So here, let's use this chart. So now let's just say you got in, one of your orders got picked up, and so you're not fully positioned, but you're in the game. You get home from work, you get your retest, you add the rest there. It's not going to be that different, that much of a difference in your average entry. And then you can also tighten your stop loss because now it's moved away from this wick. So that's the fastest I can explain that, but there are like fully detailed videos in the course that explain exactly how to do something like that, so that you don't have to sit there and watch for the entry. And you know, the main thing is that, like, for me personally, I'm a full-time trader. I don't check that. Somebody asked me at the start of Asia today, someone said, Annie, can we have an update on the price action? I'm like, no, because it's Asia and I'm not looking. Like, that's, you know, you learn as a trader what you should pay attention to. I don't worry about Asia. Asia's job is to set the initial high and the low of the day. So there's nothing for me to do until it's done that. So my time to come to the charts is towards the end of Asia to see if I need an entry just before UK opens. And if I don't get it then, I go live my life and I come back just before open of US. So at the most, I'm probably on the charts maybe 1 or 2 hours a day. And I'm only looking for my entry on Monday because I want the 3-day swing. Sunday with you guys on my show is a day trade. So I'm looking for that one, then Monday, and then I'm only looking for the midweek reversal on Thursdays. So, you know, this term full time is like, I don't know, a few hours a week. So yeah, a lot of people think that work and whatnot gets in the way. And sorry guys, it might Obviously it might, depending on, you know, whether you, I guess what time you work and whatnot, but you can time, or you don't need to be on the charts full time in order to be able to get really good entries. You know, if you can time your lunch break at the session changeovers, you can still work a job and trade, you know. Plus it's pretty boring to just do nothing all day but trade, I have to be honest with you. Okay. Oh yeah, are you guys talking about the moon? Yeah, you are. I knew that was going to come up. Yes, we do have the full moon. And if you know how the full moon works, we tend to dump into the full moon and pump out of it. So it's very possible that we've had our dump into the moon already and we're about to move out of it. You know, let's see if this candle picks up some speed and crosses that 50 EMA. That's going to be great for us. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to smash a like button. If you want to come and join the free Discord, there are, I don't actually think there are exchange links down below, but I will add them. And there is the Black Friday special if you're wanting to learn this course. Don't forget about that. I'll see you guys on the next one. You know how I am on this channel. I don't know when it's going to be. I'm random, but I always love hanging out with you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.